You guys can hear us. We're having technical difficulties with my phone. I'm not sure if audio is picking up right now, so we're going to wait for somebody live to hop on and hopefully help us out there. If you can hear us, my name is Charles Leslie, Coach Chaz, as people know me. Primarily a health and fitness coach. We also run an e-commerce business. My wife,
Tristan.
Hi. Just came home 6 months ago?
8 months ago.
8 months ago.
Yeah.
Quit her job, put in that notice. And we've
Scary
been...
stuff, man.
Ooh, big leaps of faith have happened the last couple of years. So we both run we're both self-employed is what it comes down to. Entrepreneurs, so we have multiple side hustles. Miss Amanda Booker is on.
Can you hear us? Because
we're doing an audio check.
Having some technical problems.
I need more coffee. Hopefully our audio check can come in okay. We'll keep going.
Check, check, check.
1, 2, 3. Trying to think.
I feel hungover.
Why?
Because our son kept us up all night long.
Okay, cool. We got audio this time.
Yay, sounds good. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So I feel like I should have had a better time last night than I did. And I'm a little upset about it.
She's got that 2-year-old waking up at... What time was he up? 4? 2?
No, he was up at 11:30. And then he just it was just... We're not going to talk about it.
Crazy.
It's fine. I got my coffee.
Yeah.
I'm going to get over it.
Real life parenting and adulting going on today. So welcome to Mindset Monday. I feel like I'm repeating myself because we just did all this without audio. So I want to start Mindset Monday because a lot of people are going into health and fitness adventures, trying to lose weight, or they're going into a business adventure. We run a full-time e-commerce business. We run a full-time health and fitness business. So I see people on both sides have the same struggles, and I wanted to kind of tie everything together in this mindset show, if you want to call it that. It's going to be kind of back and forth Q&A style, so if you guys want to drop comments, questions, anything like that, we'll be sure to answer them. And I just want to hop on here once a week and talk about different topics. So today's going to be limitations because it's something I've personally struggled with a lot, and I've had a few breakthroughs in different areas lately, which I'm excited about. So do you have any opening things?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that can keep you in a great job or keep you in an awful job, just your mindset. You can, it goes hand in hand with everything in your whole life, you know, relationships, work, even just the self-limitations that you entertain in your head. So that's going to be what I think that's what I connect most with, just especially moving from a full-time job to then a part-time job and then to being self-employed, just having those conversations in my head. You can't do this. You're not going to be able to do this. Your family's going to live on the streets if you do this. So just, we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. I thought I'd open up with one of my favorite stories. It's about Roger Bannister. And it's something I heard in a video by Les Brown. So before 1954, it seemed like it was impossible to break the 4-minute mile. Nobody on the face of the planet had broke the 4-minute mile. This guy, Roger Bannister, comes along and he just says, F that noise. And he goes and does it. He trains, he breaks that record. He got a sub 4-minute mile. Since that day, there's been over 20,000 people, including high school athletes, kids, that have broke the 4-minute mile. And everyone questions why up until that point had no one ever done it. It's because no one had seen it done. It wasn't tangible, right? And so therefore they told themselves it's impossible. I can't do that. So that's always resonated with me. So anytime that I have these adventures I go on or moments, even something stupid, like I was in the gym yesterday and talk about like a physical sense, right? So I'm doing chest press with dumbbells. And I've done massage therapy for almost 9 years, and it's taken its toll on my shoulders. I've always had really, really weak chest and shoulders because I'm constantly pushing all day long when I was doing it full time. So I've had injuries on both shoulders. I have severe tightness and all this stuff. Like, I'm always rolled forward, so I'm constantly having to stretch back. So because of years of buildup like that, it's mentally caused these limitations when I work out. Anything with the pushing movement, I've always told myself, like, take it easy, you're tight, you're sore, you don't want to break anything. And so the most I have ever pushed on a chest press has been like 60, 65 pounds. And it's always been a big struggle because I never played around with that weight before. And anytime I did, I was super cautious about it. So yesterday, I get to the point where I'm at my 8 rep mark. I had already done the 45s and 55s. I'm like, I always do 60s, so I'll just grab the 60s again. And something in my mind said, why are you still doing that? You're only ever going to grow as far as the external stresses are forcing you to, right? So if you lift, in a physical sense, if you lift the same, in my case, 60 pounds every time, your body, your mindset is only ever going to grow and adapt to match that 60 pounds. Right? For those of you doing like 21-day fix or gym workouts or whatever, if you're lifting the same 15, 20 pounds every single time, your body and your mind are only ever going to grow to that point. It's never going to go past that. So I've been stuck in this for years. And yesterday I told myself, I've mastered the 60s. Why am I holding myself back? So I didn't even go up 5 pounds or 10 pounds. I grabbed the 75s. It was probably a dumb thing at the time. I grabbed the 75s, right? Lay down, full range of motion, boom, boom. I got my 8 reps. The last 2 were not pretty. They were the hardest friggin' reps I've ever done in my life, but I got them done. And I felt extremely proud all day because of that. So that was the first time I've broken through a physical limitation that I put on myself. So for me, that felt good. So that, again, that Roger Bannister story, it's one of those things where most of you have goals that have already been done by somebody. They've already been accomplished. So it is totally doable. You just have to be willing to put in the work and the sacrifice to do it. But not even just the work and the sacrifice. You have to have the courage just to start. I think that's where a lot of people put limitations on themselves is, if you have 100 pounds to lose, for example, I have a lot of clients that will come to me saying, hey, I need to lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds. A big, long journey ahead. And most of them don't even start because they put this initial limitation on themselves, like, it's going to be so hard, I don't know if I can do it. And that's an instant limitation, and it becomes a belief, right? It becomes the way that your mindset works, and it believes it. So that's my story on limitations.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to start with, like going from, being overweight and needing to lose 100 pounds or whatever it is. You don't have to completely change your lifestyle and decide, okay, well, since I'm going to adopt this lifestyle, now I can only eat healthy food and I need to run 10 miles a day and I can only hang out with healthy people. It doesn't need to start like that. It just needs to, like Charles said, just start. Like, this little effort can carry you through what you want to accomplish. Just the idea of, swapping out water for 1 soda a day, and just start with the baby stuff, and then it gets a little easier and your mindset can change because you're like, oh, hey, I did that, I did lose a pound just from cutting out this many grams of sugar a day or whatever. So it doesn't have to be this massive undertaking right away.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Anytime you go on any type of journey, you have to look at the big picture, but don't dwell on it. Because I think, it sounds bad to say it because we're taught the opposite, like always remember your goal, your big goal, right? And I believe in that, but to an extent, because I found that in my journey, when I'm looking at how much further I have to go until I reach the big picture, it's kind of depressing. It's kind of discouraging. It's a little overwhelming. If you guys could see our garage right now, oh jeez. Yeah. We want to be in big places with our company, but it doesn't look like it today because it's cray in here. And just getting little things done, a shipment out, and getting a few things organized. And sorry, I took over that's there. Fine. No, it's true. Yeah, I gave an analogy on another call where, like, for example, you guys can't see what's behind the scenes right now. It's a madhouse in here because in our e-commerce business, we have to get all these items shipped out to Amazon's warehouses. So if we focus on this big, dirty place as a whole and dwell on it, it's overwhelming. And most of the time when you get that overwhelmed, you just don't do it. Right? Like, have you ever had so much shit to get done that you just don't do anything? Right? You go take a nap instead. I did that yesterday for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I laid down for a quick nap, and next thing you know, it's dark out. So that's an example of like whatever journey you go on. Like, you know, for example, Trista quit her job 8 months ago to come home and do this with me full time. And now it's our business, right? We have multiple side hustles that we do. And when you first came home, like it was overwhelming because you were looking at all, you know, the fact that your income is now directly reflected on your effort alone. Mm-hmm. It's no longer a steady every 2-week paycheck. You have weeks and months where you don't collect a dime, right? The company might make some money and break even, but you don't collect a dime for your own bills, that kind of stuff. So it's overwhelming when you looked at the big picture. But then we just broke it down into bite-sized chunks. Like, okay, if I just do this and this and this each day, you know, the compound effect, like Mr. Michael Sierras dropped below there. Small daily actions and choices compound effect into a larger result over time. Mm-hmm. That could be in a negative way too. That's not just a positive. Like if you're eating in the book, Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, highly, highly recommend that one for starters. Just because it's so powerful in every aspect of your life. So, co-host is ditching me. I highly recommend that book to start with, and it talks in there about how if you consume 135 calories extra per day, which does not seem like much, right? It's like a couple little bite-sized chunks of chocolate. If you just consume 135 calories extra per day, it's compound effect over time, those small daily choices and actions. One day you're going to look down and go, what the hell just happened? Like, where'd that 10 pounds come from?
Or if you consume 2 to 3 little pints of Ben & Jerry's over time.
Yeah, we went through that phase.
Right. I still fight that phase.
It's a tough one to get out of. That's the point, though, is you have to focus on what can you do today. What are the small things you can do every week that if you do them consistently, they're going to have a positive influence. So for some of you, it might be losing weight. Some of you, it might be what you do in your business. Some of you are working towards a degree in school, right? You have to show up, you have to do your homework, even though it sucks and you don't want to do it. That's hard work and dedication.
It can go with relationships, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, who of us don't have that family member, right? Mm-hmm. That we just, I mean, they're hard to get along with, or, you know, you just don't have that relationship, a good relationship, but you want to. Maybe you want to. Maybe it's a parent or a sibling or, you know, whatever, or a coworker or a spouse.
we go through those phases.
You know, just taking those little chunks, you know, just, hey, how are you doing? Or I bought you this coffee or whatever. Just taking that little bit of time and investing in their life, in their day, in their moment. If they're having a bad day, you could be there for them. You know, it doesn't mean that you need to stalk their Facebook and call them 16 times a day. You know, just being a little presence in somebody else's day can be really important. So, you know, just that compound effect. Oh my gosh, it'll fit in any spot in your life. So
if you didn't get that by now, Darren Hardy is the author. Compound Effect. I wish I had like an affiliate.
We don't have an affiliate.
I should try to get that because I've given away and recommended that book. I don't even know how many times now. I've got a stack of them somewhere. I had like
a stack of them like this for a while.
Because I give them to all my new clients that I take on. So I just ordered a stack.
So I want to talk about a little bit like just those small actions and how even though we're saying, yeah, they're just small actions and they're easy to do if you just commit to them, even those small actions can get lost in the day, especially if we're all busy, serious. We all have, you know, work. We are mothers and fathers and children, and, you know, we're probably taking care of people all the time, and it's really hard to take care of yourself. I think moms we we're pretty hard on ourselves sometimes. So one of the things that I found that's just helped me so much in this area is writing it down. I'm a visual person, and if you're visual like me, if it doesn't get written down, it's really not going to get done.
Yep.
So, you know, Charles is really amazing at having this like list in his head, and as long as he gets his list done, he can, you know, his business, his goals are attainable. But I just need that visual, like, I don't know what it is, this like chemical in my brain loves to check things off. So I found a planner, and this is something that like seriously has helped me just really reach my goals. I mean, so this is a typical week in the life of Trista, and
Which one is this?
Huh?
What's a planner called?
Oh, it's called the Passion Planner. You know, you can get anything as long as you have a little more room to scribble.
Post-it notes. That's my system. It works for
crazy,
me.
But whatever.
And whiteboards. Everyone knows me for whiteboards.
Yeah.
This is one of
we have
4
like
in here.
15 whiteboards in our house.
This is one of 4 in this room.
But just being able to write it down and check it off, and I refer back to this probably at least daily, and if I don't get to it every day, then I totally feel lost all week. But it really helps me to stay on track and to just write those little goals down. I have lots of things in here about I want to have coffee with this person, you know, just to see what's going on in their lives. Or we need to get this shipment out on this day at this time. Or I need to work on eBay for this chunk, this block, you know, whatever. It really does help you prioritize. So
yeah, and that's one thing. One thing with these like Mindset Mondays or any type of live show that we do, we want to try to do our best to give you like tangible action steps that you can do. And that's the biggest thing that I tell anyone who asks me any question really about anything. It always comes down to, are you following a schedule? Because if you're not, as much as it sucks, and I get it, I was never a scheduler, but Trista's seen firsthand the days that I don't put anything on my schedule, because I use, you know, between my iPhone and my calendar on my computer, I'm a fan of using just the Google Calendar. It's pre-installed on there. So I'm really, really adamant about scheduling time blocks for all my businesses, all my clients, all my tasks. I put little time blocks in there. Some days are like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Boom, 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 boom. It's not like that every day, but some days get that busy. It's because I put those in there intentionally. And being self-employed, if you guys are self-employed as well, you know the struggle of it is so much harder to do your own to-do list than it is to go to a job and do a boss's to-do list, because you know you'll get fired. There's incentive for your butt to show up every day. But for us, it's like, screw it. If I want to sleep in, I can sleep in. If I want to take a day off, I can take a day off. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's a lot of, it's a dangerous area. It's got a lot of negatives with it if you allow it.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to use that calendar system where I put these little time blocks in there, and I'm so productive on those days. Trista, on the other hand, has seen firsthand what happens when I don't put my to-do list together. I lounge all day. I might play the Xbox. I might play a zombie game on my phone. I might just do stuff that's super not productive. And it's because I didn't put it into a tangible action step. So that's why I'm a big fan of scheduling and to-do lists. They suck. I know they're not glamorous and fun. You can glitter them and sticker whatever floats your boat. But it just comes down to doing them. Glitter and stickers galore. I joke that the number one thing you should put on your to-do list is do the to-do list. Because most people will make one, they don't do it. Yeah. I'm guilty of that. So if there's anything tangible we can give you, it's have some type of system in place that forces you to get up and do it. Yeah. Especially if it's your own side hustle, your own grind, whether that's your health and fitness journey or a side business and you still have a full-time job. You'll see firsthand, it is so difficult to show up with consistency every single day and put in the small daily tasks that don't seem like much if you skip them, but they really are, because they compound effect over time. And again, that can work in your favor or against you.
Yeah, and as far as like going back to the mindset, you know, good to make these goals. Obviously, everyone has goals. You know, we don't want to just stay in the same place that we've been in for 10 years. Most people. If you're watching this, you're probably one of those people. But how do you just get past that, like, that voice in your head that's like, you can't do that, it's too big, you're too small. You know, it's just really saying to yourself over and over every single day, yes, you can. And going back to the compound effect again, saying yes, you can every day is what makes it happen. Maybe you have to put sticky notes all over your bathroom window, or maybe you have to just read affirming things that you are. Oh my gosh, do you remember that YouTube video of the blonde little girl in the
yes.
in the bathroom, and she's like, "I am great. I love my house. I love my dog."
Yep.
Just like,
if that's what you need to do, go
do
for
it. In fact, you'd probably get on YouTube and be like,
please put it
sensation.
on YouTube.
Please tag us.
I would love that.
That would be so funny.
We should do one.
But
I don't know if
just,
we could fit both on the counter though.
I don't think so.
We should try. Yes.
I am great. But seriously, like, tell yourself how badass you are. You know, it might sound crazy in the moment, but it does have an effect on your subconscious, right? If you tell yourself over and over that you're just a piece of crap, that you can't do this, that you quit everything you start, then you've already decided that you're going to quit whatever you start. So, you know, just telling yourself, I just did this one little thing. That's all I did today, but it was on my to-do list. I checked it off, and because of it, I'm a badass. It's kind of all you have to do, right? Just little things. It's okay to start with those little things.
There's actual chemical reactions that happen in your brain. Dopamine, serotonin.
Science, people.
Hashtag that. Science.
Okay. Sorry.
We're going to start bringing that back. The hashtags.
I think it's gone.
No, we'll bring it back.
It's gone.
It's never too late. Completely lost my train of thought on that one.
Sorry.
What was I saying? Dang it! I do this a lot too. Literally, before we even started the show, I was saying something and I went, "Ooh, squirrel," and picked up my camera and started fiddling with it.
He was gonna, like, I don't know, he was gonna program something.
There was something on that same topic. Bog and chill. It's an Inside Summit joke.
Okay. Not good.
A lot of the limitations you put on yourself really do stem from
Brains. Science.
Oh, chemicals. Duh.
Yeah, got it.
So there's chemical reactions that produce these things, right? The dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, all this good stuff, right? So it gives you that boost, like, yeah, I did it, right? That's why you step on a scale, it's like you lost 2 pounds this week. Boom, you get that boost to keep going. So that's why you have to have these little tiny goals, right? So have a big goal, have a big picture, but more importantly, break it down into small, attainable ones that give you that motivation, that boost to keep going. Because if you only have a big goal and that's all you ever look at, the journey to it is going to seem a lot longer because you're not going to get these wins, right, along the way. I know Curtis is going to watch this and I'm totally stealing the word win from you just because it's so great and I love it. So anyways, you have to find these ways to get these small wins. Now, I truly believe, just something you said there reminded me of, the football practice story. Way back when I quit before I even started.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe that a lot of people's limitations, lack of confidence, your belief system obviously starts from when you were a kid, and experiences that you have as a child, whether it's looking at how your parents raised you, whether it be in a good or a bad way, different experiences you had growing up throughout your teens, they kind of mold your belief system, right? They mold how you react to certain situations. And growing up, I literally quit everything I started. Anything. I always quit. And one of my favorite ones that I quit, now that I look back, it's kind of funny, but in a sense it's not. I loved basketball, so I did basketball for a few years. And then I thought, ooh, wrestling would be fun. So I did wrestling. 2 weeks into it, I realized how hard it was, and I quit. Because
he was like 80 pounds in high school.
I was like 80 pounds in high school. It's crazy. Look at my
was...
scrawny self back then. So it was hard. I got my ass kicked by every dude that came on the mat. And yeah, it was super discouraging, and I quit because it was hard. I didn't have the courage to keep going with it, and I didn't have the belief in myself that I can get better and I could eventually beat my competition. I didn't have that belief in myself at all. So the second anything got hard, I'm out. I quit. And you know, another one after quitting wrestling, I thought, do I go back into basketball? Ooh, football would be really fun. On my way to the first practice, driving to the first practice, I turned around and went back home because it scared the crap out of me to get hit by somebody that was 3 times my size. I quit before I even started. So for me, that instilled, those habits back then instilled these limitations on myself for years. You mean, I've been in this journey of self-improvement, whatever you want to call it, for 9 years now. So it's been 9 years of trying to knock down these walls that I built up myself around my own mindset. And that's why I'm a big fan of talking about limitations and belief, because if you don't have belief that you can break through those walls, it'll never happen. It truly won't. Even as stupid of an example as that chest press I did yesterday, just that little tiny moment of courage where I had those 10 seconds of, you know what, screw it, I can pick up more than 60 pounds. Boom, I did it. Mm-hmm. And I got that endorphin rush, that dopamine rush, and all of a sudden I'm like, what else can I do if I actually just push myself? It reminds me of, you already know the Jillian Michaels quote that I love. She hates it when I say it out loud. So there's this picture of Jillian Michaels, and she has one of her clients doing a wall sit, and she's pointing at her going, what else are you half-assing in your life? And it's true in a physical workout sense. When you're exercising, a lot of people, I've done this, I did it for years before I learned to push myself. A lot of people quit when it hurts, when it starts to burn, right? Instead of doing that 1 or 2 extra reps that truly make the difference in your results, you quit the second it gets hard, right? 20 seconds of insane courage. What movie is that? We Bought a Zoo. That's what it's from. Love that scene. Love it. 20 seconds of insane courage.
I remember that. It just boggles my mind. Sorry. Side note.
That's an inside joke. She hates my memory.
It's so annoying.
I remember the weirdest stuff. Like dates and
I can't remember anything.
Numbers. I don't know why. I just do.
Who are you?
You signed the contract to stay with me for a while. Yeah, so just by having those 20 seconds of insane courage, in 20 seconds to believe in yourself can make or break anything. So in that physical workout sense,
about that.
Yeah, in that physical workout sense, like if you keep quitting when it starts to burn, ask yourself that question: what else are you half-assing in life? It's a tough one to face.
Mm-hmm. So I have a story about that.
I feel like it's gonna be about me.
Speaking of courage, no, it has nothing to do with you.
You just have that tone, like here we go.
So in my job that actually I loved, I didn't quit my job because I was super miserable with my work. I had a bad working situation, but I loved what I did. So I worked in a wound care center. Wounds, not wombs. So
like packing stuff.
But here, okay, so chronic wounds. We won't go into the details.
I had to hear the details whether or not I wanted to. Guess what I did today?
But I loved it. I loved getting to heal people, seeing people healed. We had people that would come in with chronic wounds and of 10 or 20 years that they were smelly, they were cumbersome. These people they were debilitating. They couldn't even go to the grocery store, you know.
Some of them actually, they had to like get amputated. It was that bad.
But, you know, getting to see people kind of get their lives back. And so anyway, Crystal, what are you doing here?
You're supposed to be on your honeymoon.
Get on your honeymoon. Anyway, so seeing these people just come in feeling so helpless, and getting to heal them. It was so gratifying. I loved it. We did have, we worked with surgeons though, and not that surgeons are bad. They're a little temperamental. And one of the surgeons that we worked with was super tall, had this really deep voice, and kind of just not a, he's just very intimidating presence. He's actually a super sweet guy. So I got to know him. Anyway, so I was I'd been at this center for a few years at this point, so kind of knew my way around some things. And we'd been treating this guy for a while, and I had this looming, like, we should take a biopsy of this guy's wounds. And it just hadn't been done yet. And we'd seen him for a few weeks, and just this wound wasn't looking or acting like anything else that I'd seen, and I just thought we should just take a biopsy. And then, instantly I'm like, I can't tell the surgeon that. Like, he's a surgeon. I can't do that. And so one week, he came in, he said, in his intake, he's saying, it's so painful. I feel like it's getting worse. I don't feel like you guys are helping me at all. And my heart broke for him. And so he gave me that 20 seconds of courage that I needed to then go to the surgeon and say, I think we should biopsy this. And he's, super sweet guy, and he said, I don't think we need to. And I said, but here's the reason why. Here's why I think we should biopsy it. And he said, okay. So we biopsied it, and it came back with a bone infection that it's not something that just you expect right away when you look at a wound. So anyway, long story short, he gave me that 20 seconds of courage that I needed to advocate for him. And it was just super amazing to get that report back that said, hey, you were right. You needed to speak up for that patient, and maybe I should have done it sooner. But
and that's the thing, is every time that something like that happens, you always wish you would have done it sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the hard part to face. Anytime, that's amazing. And a lot of you are going to be in a position where you're not having that courage for anyone else, but you need to have the courage for yourself.
Right.
Especially, I always revert back to health and fitness, right? Losing weight, because that's something I went through myself. I help my clients go through it a lot. It's a tough journey. And a lot of people don't have the courage to push past a certain barrier. Like for myself, I would lean out to a certain point, and I would hit this point every single time. And I'm thinking like, yes, I'm finally going to break through and get that physical body that I envision myself having. And then life happens, whatever that situation might be, and I start eating more, I stop working out as much, and then, pudge back up. But that was another example of my journey of like this physical barrier. Mm-hmm. And then when I started to actually have that courage to just stand up for myself and say, you deserve this, like you're worth it, you deserve it. That's when I started pushing through that barrier, and my body started taking a different shape than it's ever had. Mm-hmm. I started feeling better and more energy, all this stuff that came along with it.
And I think also, you hear a lot of people say, what's your why? What's your why? Mm-hmm. Why are you doing this? Why are you changing? And I think whys are really important, but they can also be a little bit dangerous, right? If your why is your kids, right? And you want to get healthy because you want them to see you healthy so that they make better choices. But you can always find excuses around your why. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. You can I could say, I need to be healthy so that Titus can see me be healthy. And then I could get my way around that and say, well, Charles is healthy enough for the both of us, so Titus doesn't need to see me healthy. He just needs to watch his dad, right? Or he plays enough sports. He doesn't need to see us healthy. As long as he's active and he's doing what he needs to do, then, I think there's ways around your why. And I think instead of using your why, but saying, I deserve this. I'm better than this, and this. I deserve to be happy too. I'm not doing this because I want my kids to see me healthy or I want to get that promotion. I deserve to be happy. I think that we lie to ourselves and say that all we have to do in this life is, pay taxes and then die. That's not what we were created for. We were created for way bigger things. We were created for impaction on other people's lives. And paying taxes and dying doesn't fit into that scenario at all. So whys are good. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I completely agree, because I was just thinking, most parents...
It's like we're married or something. I don't know.
Like 99% of parents are going to say, my kids are my why.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. And like Trista said, you want to lead by example. You want them to see what you're doing, and they want to do the same, right? Like, I bet you can ask any smoker, do you want your kid to smoke? They're going to say no, right? But your actions are showing different. So in this example, if you say your kids are the reason why you want to become healthy, financially set, have time freedom, all this stuff, right? If you use your kids as your why, sometimes I have found myself, because I have the same thing, like I want Titus to grow up seeing what I do, and I want him to do the same, but in his whatever he wants in his world, but to have healthy habits along the way. And the times that he's not at the house, or he might be sleeping, those are times where it's like, well, he's not looking. Now I can just chill. I can eat a hot dog. I can do whatever, whatever it is.
I can eat a dozen donuts.
Can eat a dozen donuts. So if you're using your kids as your why, but behind closed doors, you're still treating yourself like shit, that's how you're going to feel.
And it's not like what you put into your mouth or what... it's all about... We're talking about mindset,
Yeah.
It's like if you're treating yourself well in front of whoever that your why is for, or but there's no consistency because you don't really believe in your why. That's what it really comes down to, is if you believed in your why, then you would do it. So I think just deciding every day that you are worth the effort that you're going to put out that day into yourself or whatever, your family or whatever, that's going to be more impactful than just saying, well, I'm doing this so that this, and this happen, but not because I'm worth it or that I need these changes in my life to feel happy with my body or happy with my mindset, which is even more important than feeling happy with your body. But just, that's what I got.
Yeah, no, it's...
I didn't finish that.
No, it's awesome. That's something I've always thought about. It's like, it's hard to explain, like, put it into words. Your why is important, but it don't ever feel selfish if you become your why. Right? Like, I used to feel bad if I told Trista, hey, can you watch Ty? I need to go to the gym. Hey, can you watch Ty? I need to go meal prep. Hey, can you watch Ty? I need to do this. Right? And then she would do the opposite, right? She would tell me, like, hey, I need you to do this so I can go, just for her, like, if she needs to get out of the house, like, once a day, she needs an hour to herself to go shop, get coffee, do something, right? So I make sure I do my best to provide that for her, because we both understand that we have to put ourselves first. And it's just, to some of you, it's not going to make sense. It's going to sound selfish, but I'm a big believer, and I've learned this in my journey. If I feel like shit, what kind of energy do you think I'm giving my family or my friends or my business, my clients? If I feel my best, guess what? They get my best. Everyone else gets my best. Everyone's happy. So whatever your why is, you need to tweak it a little bit, and you need to include some of yourself in that too, because that's going to make the difference between if you do what you need to do behind closed doors or if you're being lazy and procrastinating and eating junk and all this stuff. Because if you don't believe 110% in your why for yourself, behind closed doors when no one's looking, you're not going to do what you need to do. That's where all the bad stuff is going to happen, whether it's food, addictions, all this stuff.
Right. If you took Facebook and social media out of the equation, there was no one to keep you accountable and say, I didn't see your workout post today, or, you know, all of that, would you still be doing what you're doing? That's what makes the difference, right? That's what you really believe in. When all the fluff is gone and all the, you know, accountability and all the good jobs and the stars and the high fives.
Week 1 of any type of challenge.
Right.
Week 1, hoorah! Week 2, it's starting to get hard.
So I don't think we're saying this so that you can be like, or you know, we're not saying this so that you rethink your why. But I think we're just trying to get the point across that your mindset has to be that you are worth much more than you think you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And when you not just faking it, but when you actually believe that, that's where your limitations no longer become limitations.
Yeah.
That's where you break through. And like, you know, like Stephen brought up, all it takes is 20 seconds of courage. Anytime you're faced with the moment of a tough decision, like for her when she had to face that surgeon and say, hey, I think we need to biopsy this, or times where, like yesterday in a physical sense, where I was looking at these 75-pound dumbbell, and for 20 seconds of courage, I told myself, I can do this. I got this. Whatever the case is, it's not always going to be easy. It's actually always going to be harder to take the right road.
Right.
That's why, you know, you hear 98% of people are average. You know, they're complacent. They're the 2%, they do what's hard, but it makes their lives easier in the long run if you do what's hard now versus you can do what's easy now, which is be lazy, procrastinate, eat junk food, you know, have crappy relationships, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's easy now because it doesn't take any effort. But later on down the road, it's going to get really tough on you. So if you flip it around, do what's tough now, make those hard decisions, have that courage, do what you need to do to improve your life and whatever goals you have. Because everything we talk about is just our own personal journeys. So any advice we ever give out is just advice. Take it and mold it to fit your life because we're all so differently created, right? You need, you know, things that I love and I'm passionate about, Trista's not. She wasn't created for them and vice versa. She does stuff where, like crafting, for example, she's a wizard at crafting stuff. I'm like, where can I just buy something like that? So your goals don't need to be our goals or my goals or her goals. You just need to take a little bit of advice that we give based on our experiences and mold it to you and your goals in your life because it's going to be different for everybody. That's where the big picture is important. You need to look at your end goal. I keep putting it on the camera. It's like, hi.
It's out the window. There's a window
it's
behind
like
us.
Covering your face.
And the goal is there.
I'll go this way. You need to look at the big picture. Like I did a post yesterday about lifestyle. I said, you need to earn your lifestyle. I wanted a lifestyle years ago where we can travel. I didn't have a boss to report to. I would live life on my terms. I got to go out and hike when I want to, go to the beach when I want to. Now that we have a 2-year-old, obviously when he got here, I thought I need to do something to create a lifestyle where I can be here for my family every single day. I don't have to go slave at a job for 10 hours a day. That was my big picture back then. So what I did was I broke it into smaller, more attainable goals that allowed me to keep that drive because every time I hit a small goal, I'm like, yes, boom, one step closer. Yes, boom, one step closer. And then it got down to the road where it's like, shit, we're living that big picture that I had 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And of course, it never ends. After you hit those goals and they become true, don't let yourself become complacent because that's a dangerous place to be. Set the next thing, the next big picture, because that always pushes you forward. And like Tony Robbins says, the secret to happiness is progress, not perfection. You'll never have perfection, and so many people want to be perfect to the point that they don't even start, right? So you need to have that big picture in place, but more importantly, have it in the back of your mind, but don't focus on it. Focus on the small things that can get you there. Because if you focus on the small things, trust me, it's going to happen. It's probably going to happen quicker. I don't think we ever thought we'd be both self-employed before we're even 30.
Right.
I'm only 28.
And I like our circumstances changed a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know, we had a baby, and I loved my job, and I thought I'd be there forever because I loved what I did. But then your goals and your priorities change when you realize how important it is to be home, or, you know, or not. I mean, some people, I've figured out through this self-employment stint of 8 months that I am not built to be a stay-at-home mom every day, 24 hours. I can't. I think it's in, maybe I'll do another video, just girls.
You can do a whole mommy,
just girls.
a mom entrepreneur series.
I think there's this lie that says you're a bad mom if you want to, if you don't absolutely love being home with your kids 24 hours, 7 days a week.
I think it's just old school thinking.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's old school thinking or it's the pressure we put on ourselves. I think that has a lot to do with it. But I learned that I needed to change my mindset a little bit with how I thought about that. I'm sorry, it sounds so froggy today. I think it's allergies.
It's because Ty kept you up all night.
I have a Titus hangover. So I think just it took me a while to change that mindset that it's okay to want to feel productive a few days a week. And you know, I'm super totally blessed, and we're probably like 10% of America who has their families down the street, you know, 10 minutes, and they absolutely adore our son and just want him every minute that they can have him. So we're super blessed, and so I've been able to plan those days to get things done. But I think my point being is that you know, your mindset is going to change, and that's okay, and you can just accept what you need, you know, and not put the limitations on yourself. I had those limitations of thinking that I was a bad mom if I didn't want to spend every moment with him, and that's just not true. I'm a better mom when I have 3 days of productivity working whatever it is that I need to do in our business, or just being productive in my own creative way. I'm a better mom to him than if I'm cooped up in the house. We get frustrated at each other.
He's learning how to fight back.
So yeah, I think it's okay to, your mindset's always going to be changing because we're people and we're always changing, right? But it's okay to accept those things about yourself. So.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for like the whole babysitting thing. Like, don't ever feel that, like she said, don't ever feel like you need to be home with your kids 24/7 and you're a bad parent if you want some time away. Yeah. Again, it comes down to,
or if you're in a job that you you know, and you're, Charles will spend some of his most productive hours are just that, a few hours, but he feels fulfilled and just totally productive in those few hours, rather than trying to force an 8-hour day doing, you know, things that need to get done, but forcing it, you know, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny you said that, because next week's topic, I actually want to be being busy versus being productive. And it comes down to that. I can literally get more done in a 2-hour time frame at a coffee shop where I'm completely zoned in and focused on my projects, as opposed to trying to be out here in the garage and force an 8, 10, 12-hour day. That's how it rolls.
Right.
Yeah, I think going back to like the babysitter thing, though, don't ever feel bad if you need to find a babysitter, because especially like, you know, we love our kid and you guys love yours too, but it is impossible to get much done with him around. So we have lined up on certain days for the grandparents, and we're blessed. If we didn't have the grandparents close by, we would still hire a babysitter.
I still do hire a babysitter.
Yeah, we still have another sitter that
I have
comes
2.
out. Yeah.
And they'll
You
just
have to.
literally, you have to. I guess I'm speaking more to moms again, but I will literally come out into my garage and they're in the house playing, and I don't feel bad about that at all. And you shouldn't either.
No.
So anyway, that's another topic for another day.
We got a
I think
whole
we're just
series of
rambling
these
at this
coming.
point. Sorry.
I think that concludes it for episode 1, Mindset Monday. Thank you all for tuning in. I think we're at perfect 1 hour mark.
11:30.
We'll keep these 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was a little long. We
30 to
kinda rambled a
45
little
minutes
bit.
will be our new goal, our new target.
Mm-hmm.
So you can expect to see these live every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 1 p.m. for you Eastern folks. I still have to count with my fingers. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. I still have to do that. Yeah, so you can catch us live here on Facebook.com/Coach Chaz Live. These will also be recorded and put up on YouTube if you want to catch the recordings. Yeah, aside from that, this has been Coach Chaz.
Interested?
Logging off. You guys have a blessed day. We'll see you next week.
Bye.